Okay, so that's cool.
So sivulele ngomthandazo ke.
That's fine.
What's up, guys? Today I have a special guest, Yonela Mnana. But before we can get into today's episode, I'd like to introduce. Today I'm with a friend, Bob. I call him Bob.
Yeah, but he calls himself Giftika. Hey guys, happy to be here, especially with an honored guest like Mr. Mnana. Very big fan of you, sir. Thank you for having us.
Okay, I'd read a short passage or intro for Yonela Mnana is a jazz scholar, a recording singer, and a jazz pianist who also teaches and composes. Ngizophila lapho because ibhayo yakho ngisho ngathatha 3 pages yonke nje so.
Yeah, it's too long, eh?
So which one do you learn? Do you prefer or do you love the most, like teaching or playing?
No, I like myself.
But is there any that you enjoy the most?
I think they're fine. They all have, it's like, different languages.
But
it's like body parts. You can't choose like your ankle.
Sure.
Because you still need a foot to check whether it's not a heel.
Yeah. So
they're fine. They just, all these things are organic. Because you can't be a teacher without being a learner.
Yeah.
And you can't improvise without understanding what composition is. They are all together, man. It's like, I remember my math teacher used to say that, everything you learn is cumulative. It has to be based on the other stuff that you know. And even that, so the other stuff that you know must also come through as part of the solutions for the stuff that you don't know. So I think we're organic beings. I think the idea, of being something that is just one thing,
sure,
has no truth to life. Life is just so multiple that you can't say maybe this guy is just a policeman, this guy is just a doctor.
Yeah,
we are so many things as one thing.
You're not just a cop.
We have to, I'm just saying, so I don't know, I don't think there's a possibility that I can choose one. I can only say that maybe Providence, I don't have time to do other ones, then I have time to do the other. Because I'm always here, so I get the chance to teach a lot than, for example, to be writing songs. But fortunately, here at least there's a chance to also to write some music, to arrange some music here. So I get the chance, and so that's all. I think it's just maybe I'm just a product of circumstance.
I guess maybe I figure like composition while you're still teaching, or
no, I realize I think I have to use my compositions to teach. I think that's the ultimate.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Or any songs that you've played it, especially Sisonke Konti, to mention a few.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Those are songs that we write as well. We write.
Yeah.
The beauty, I think, about musicianship is you get to work with lots of people, and you get to be able to receive stuff that they're thinking and to give back as well. So it's actually quite it's a privilege. So even with the students, it's the same thing. Sometimes, so they are the ones that will give you, a specific vibe.
Yeah.
Sometimes they know. Sometimes even if it's my song, sometimes I just decided maybe I don't want it that other way. I change it also.
So was like piano your first love for instrument, or?
I think. Well, I don't know actually. I think it became later first love. I think it was something out of necessity. It's the piano is it's like clothes, man. It's like food. Sometimes you just chow because you need to be alive. Yeah. So I think for me, in terms of the piano, because there's many notes, so you get the dynamic range, which means, for example, you can you can represent the choir on the piano, and you can represent
Yeah.
the upright. So it is that necessary for me as a so-called mother instrument. And it helps with accompaniment.
Sure.
But there are something that the voice can do that the piano can't do.
Yeah.
In the same way that the piano can't do what the voice, the piano can do what the voice cannot do. So, once again, there's a lot of symbiosis in terms of how these things relate to each other functionally. Like what are the duties that they are doing? What are the functions that they perform to each other? So, but it's important, as much as those things are necessary for each other, that they should be able to be mastered separately. So you can't, if the other one is not proper, the other one, it's like the hand, man. Just because this finger is strong, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need this finger less. Yeah. So they all are important. They all need time. You all have to watch them with the same energy.
Sure. Okay. So would you say, Mr. Mnana, that if someone asked you what instrument they should learn, or maybe like they just wanted to get into music and they wanted to just learn an instrument, would you say that the piano is the best one to learn out of all of them?
No, I can't say that. No, I don't know, because I haven't tried the other one. Maybe if I loved guitar, I'd say guitar is the best. So I can't, but I think people, it's that thing. Sometimes the environment inspires us. Imagine, there's a guy, like you find a guy in India who's playing a tabla.
Sure.
He becomes a master because that's the only thing that is available to him that time.
Yeah.
Imagine, what if there were no cameras? You'd be doing something else now, You understand? Hey, nabase family uthola ukuthi kube balana.
Sure.
So I'm curious ukuthi, which one is influencing which? Is it because we are products of the environmental circumstances now? If I was born in Nigeria, maybe you'll be talking to someone, or the other way around.
Yeah.
So we need to also think about, and I think that's the interesting thing about jazz as a black sound too. The awareness of the multiple possibilities is what should fascinate us, because it gives us the power to create those words or not.
Sure.
So yeah.
No, that's very powerful, actually, Mr. Mnana. But I've actually once heard someone saying that art influences life, and then life influences art. So it's all just a circular thing where there's just influence all around us. So
We need each other.
yeah, it's all just everything.
Yeah,
happening.
I don't know. I don't know if for some people, I see also with students, and other people that we come, they compartmentalize their things. I don't see how art is separate from living. I sometimes art in itself is life, sometimes is a mirror of what's happening. The things that we're doing, think about it, man. In music, there's a guy, maybe he's taking a solo, the other guys are accompanying him, or sometimes they go together. It's almost like a family.
Sure.
Like, masiceda sonke, siqala sonke. It's like how you expect a nation to live.
Sure.
The fact that, for example, with jazz, people take solos, it means it is a platform where people can empower themselves. They can, any of the musicians knows that they have a chance to be listened to. Actually, maybe you came here, so Mameli singers, we must just suck it up until ingoma easy pele then. You understand? So, music, think about it. When you have to eat, you still need a spoon, right? That's somebody's work of art. Cooking is art in itself.
Yeah.
The fact that you need another product, that is very artistic.
Sure.
So for me, life and art are the same. Art is life in the same way that life is art.
Sure.
And like you're saying, they need each other, but they almost are.
Each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful.
You
That's
know.
powerful. So I also wanted to ask, is like, is it important as artists, maybe, or a band, to play like in a connection at easy? Because I've actually listened to one of my interview, Uthandi Somazwai, and he was launching the album Le Ibelete, and she said, yeah, she's very thankful and grateful to uhlangane nalabantu who are like on the same spirituality, like who Tuso Makatini, Prahebi, Ayanda Sigate, yabona. So it made me question myself, Guti. So let's say, because some people are on too, maybe, I don't know the right word, but let's say, Mina, I'm Christian as a pianist, and my bassist is Muslim. Yabo, will there be like maybe iloni clash kuma spiritualism or kuma forces nje?
Yeah, you know, first, I mean, people think religion is everything to them. But when you meet a person, like now umuntu uyasokola, or a person has a struggle and you can sort them out, that leaves nothing to deal with Christianity.
Exactly.
Because at the center we're spiritual people. Yes, to play music together, you need to connect. Otherwise, then you guys are playing separately. You know, when you see people abantu bagitima bonke, but they don't have the same finishing point, they don't have the same starting point. That's not a marathon. It's just random running. Music is like it's harmony, man. There has to be. Otherwise, then even if you can tell them it's 4/4, or you tell them let's play C, your C and my C will never be the same because we don't have the same aim. Connection is. I mean, think about this. They can play like that from like 12 to 5.
Sure.
Because there's something else. Maybe it's not even just connecting with each other. Maybe also they connect to something else higher that they depend on, that's leading them.
Sure.
For me, and more especially with Africa, we know that our spirituality came before even we knew religion. That's why we understand religion better than the people that brought religion to us. That's why you'll find black people in all religion.
Yeah.
Because we got robbed of the original one, so we can find solace in all the other ones. Whether it's Buddhism, meditation, you can look at the stars, or you can talk about Ra or Jesus. But as a people, we are in the same thing, man. We've been there. So, but we have to rekindle that thing when we play together. I think the problem, Andrew, is because now music is music so sevenza njenge-tissue. I mean, you need it when you need it, that's all. You know, people, that's why everybody wants to be a recording artist. People want to release albums. But they don't know why they're releasing them. They just want to be there with, hey guys, check us out. It's very frivolous, that thing. Because you'll always produce, you release another one, and you find there's no meaning. Because you just want people to hear you, but that's why there's no movement. We want to release stuff, but it doesn't. Imagine you have to release another one next time because Nalia I gotta be in a track sheet. If you listen to all the music that came before, it's still strong, man. You find the guy has 2 albums, but he said so much from that stuff. Imagine you can come with 17 tracks on one album, and you find none of them has touched the person.
So after 6 months,
we like it for a week, and then it's done.
So after a week, it's like
because it's a name. That's why they say now there's a music industry. There's no longer music making culture. Industry. People think industry is because people know it. Industry means production.
Sure.
So where people that have money are willing to proliferate to populate spacing ezengoma eziningi ungakwazi nokuthi uzichoosele ukuthi unani. So that's why music it loses meaning yayo. It's like manje mangaphila like la uhamba khona uthola ukuthi kunenyama yonke indawo. It loses meaning. Kanti kudala inyama was beyidlela ukuthi kuna something. It was a symbolic thing. Manje prepare vele namanje sewaphumila semazinkini kumanje. So I'm just saying, sometimes the problem with umhlaba manje indaba yo is about quantity. How many things do you have? How many followers you've got?
Sure.
But you find even at home, no one is following you. So it's too light. I know, because it doesn't have. There's no real stuff. People are motivated by like I understand those things.
Oh.
And there's nothing wrong even about those guys' works. But why are you willing to get on someone's back if you can't create your own platform?
That's true.
So that's why everybody must akasakwazi nokubuza ukuthi kanjani endlini. He wants to take a selfie. Hey, that's what I'm saying. So we're losing those things. That's why even musically, we don't know. That's why so is it important to share a common thing. That is the aim of music making as a basis. If we have to be together. That's why if it's like a phone when you're trying to give your all.
Yeah, I've seen Ibrahim. There's a concert nayo. Yeah, no Abdullah Ibrahim. They had this thing. Like if we are, let's say they are performing and the muntu la pagu audience busy or video or doing something at distract time. Beba stop the performance. I'm telling you, face you disturb. If you wanna do something, apparently uzabuya after 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So
so it's true, man. In the true in terms of it's like a class in most class no petty paper looked at my notes. I also know what about team.
Yeah.
So it just I think I understand maybe but someone would say they're being too dramatic. But I think kungcono ukuthi sibe la sonke. Imagine ezindlini manje asakhona ukuthi people no longer eat together.
Yeah, that's true.
And even if they do, if only lana it was so but you understand. So and our lives are evolving as a and even man say common kuma relationship ukuthi siyazi ukuthi sikhona ukuba sonke mari sibe semafonini sonke. So we've lost the problem about into esilimaza namanje bakungana gesi.
Sure.
It's because we have lost the fundamental stuff. Abantu abasakwazi just nokuwosa umlilo. People can't even knit for themselves. So the way this economic state, neoliberalism, is teaching us to get what we want from someone. It doesn't empower us to get what we want from ourselves. Dala, when you're a man, you are expected to build your wife a house.
Sure.
To have the skills to do those things. So this world manje isinikeza ama solutions singaka face ama problem.
Yeah.
So we're injured. That's why manje even when you want to be a composer, there's already a guy who's got an app. Ezokuncedisa mina umudlalo inote wani feeling at same night sekuze kune loop ethile.
That's actually true. I listen to a lot of music on Spotify, and it's usually not the premium account.
Yeah.
So they actually ads about they actually show you apps to help you compose music.
Yeah, no. These people are showing you that even with your company, which they know you don't have good business principles, they want to give you solutions, Mara. You have to come to them for solutions. Why can't they help you find your own solutions? Nations have managed to stand by themselves because they were able to provide solutions for themselves. Even just a simple thing. That's what people tell them. Nations have stood because they were as long as you take someone's solution, you'll always be beholden to those people. That's why mawugula wangena nje bagula bakuthandazela abantu vele ugcina sowufaka ibheji or something. Usaba nokuthi mawungayeka engathi uzogula. So this world is tripping us. It doesn't empower us. That's why no mutu. It's true. And that's why lo mhlaba usifundisa manje ukuthi sidepende ezintweni singadependi on tea.
I actually like lento qeda ukuyisho manje Mr. Mnana yokuthi like the word that you used exactly ukuthi they're trapping us, because I feel like manje they're actually doing it ngezinto ezifeel more strong like imali, because money feels to be controlling us a lot.
It's money, bruh, money in heaven.
Yeah, true.
Ukuthi people, they make you desire something that you've never seen.
Yeah.
Imagine ukuthi like when ucanga ukuthi mangatholi 10 million, you'll do something, it'll make you a better person. But you couldn't even be better ungakabi nayo.
Yeah, true.
It's such so the problem manje ukuthi siphila asina ma ideals abaluli, yazi even Europeans. When ucanga ukuthi laba sinabo banenhliziyo ezimbi. But thina when ungakhona ukubona umuntu mawakagula lapha estradini ungamncedi, because Americans banama ideals wabo ukuthi human life is precious. They are willing to go over backwards bangene ba amana ashe azama ukurescue abantu. Thina they've taught us to hate ourselves.
True.
In a sense yokuthi umuntu uyakwazi ukuthi afike esontweni abonge ukuthi yena uthola ipromotion while umngani yena uqoshiwe. So you say hashtag be feeling blessed. I think I'm just saying, so that's the real point of us doing music, man. Music for me, yes, music fana it's like a DNA. It helps you to retrace your identity. So music becomes, it's like a lab. You check your sequencing yakho. So every time when you play, and you know it because you're a player, you know when you're doing the real thing or not.
Yeah.
And so every time it means you're trying to be better than yourself. Every time it's like it's like taking a bath. It's like hey, because there's a difference between thinking you want to play this note and actually playing it.
Sure.
So that's the ability to tap into the mystery, to say, so saying
yeah, there's a difference.
Then you respect yourself, because ngampela
I took a step.
because it means there's a God in you that creates this thing. But we are you know you have the ability to make it, to bring it to life. That's big, man. That's what makes mothers so special. Because they do something that we can't do.
As Lento show, there's something about Maxwell Baloyi, why should down. What's he begamfundisa improvisation?
Yeah, I know.
Masafika. What's he the good thing about music, more figure stage, we can tell which umuntu onjani on music. If umuntu othanda mama sizoza playing here. And I didn't understand him until vele ngizibona izinto. Okay, so we can actually tell ukuthi umuntu onjani. So konto ishilo vele ecishe yafana nayo yona.
Yeah, I think maybe we can go back to what you were saying, Guti. Maybe they should be as true, as honest musicians as much as this honest audience. Which means if you are busy taking a video or something, then maybe you're not with us. So it's not just musicians only, but it's the people that you're trying to give love to.
Yeah.
It's like or that's why I'm told ukuthi ukwatela ukuthi ubaba sikuphekele marufi ukuthi suit. And we did it with love. So umuntu ufuna ukuthi akakafili nokuthi ingoma yakho nithini, he just wants to take a selfie. Akaiva noiva. It's just saying, oh, we judge ngama views ukuthi nama views ayengaki. He doesn't know where you composed it. Eh,
Akageza mood yengoma.
Yeah.
that's it. I mean, that's why it's like magic. When ucabanga ukuthi, as much as you think you're a professional musician, there are songs, kunengoma eziyi-song of the year zala eMzansi, and people think ukuthi zirepresent our.
Yeah, true.
I
It's
don't
the same
understand.
thing with like amapiano. They like a big thing all over the world, and if you don't like them, or
Yeah,
maybe,
then
like,
you are
don't
off
relate
the
to
road,
them,
yeah.
Yeah, then goodbye issue.
Kuba ngathi awusupport-
Yeah, it's like you're not South African in a sense. Yeah.
Oh.
It's like, well, you've got a point, but I mean, we can even broaden it to Guti. Ingathi there's like an unspoken national agenda that we must agree to
Yeah.
for us to feel that we are good enough.
Yeah.
And imagine we are all siyapreselana ukuthi "Ah, ndoda,
Me.
this is truly South African or something like that. So uqinisile, I think thina asikakazithandi kahle. I mean, people would know so much about Shakespeare but abazi ngabomkhulu wabo.
Eish.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
And that's more important.
Eish.
Hayi fanele nto ukuthi abanye abazi nezibongo zamachero wabo. That's an inenye into enzima ngabi ukuthi
Eish.
we are the nation that is not really curious at knowing and what is necessarily at knowing ourselves.
Yeah.
And people make money by getting us to know whatever stuff that they want to tell us. Bona esingazichuzelanga ukuthi tune into channel Banban at 8. Who knows that you want to get that stuff?
So they're kind of forcing you, engineering you to actually
Yeah.
be into it.
Yeah. If they tell you this is the smoothest ride of your life,
Yeah.
they're creating a need kuwe ukuthi njengoba uzofunda le ncwadi no wena
let me
mela lama
focus on this,
advert.
yeah.
So if you want to talk about human capture or soul capture, the world we are living in is like that. It tells us who we must think are the great artists, who we
Yeah,
must think
yeah,
are the
yeah,
most
yeah.
beautiful ladies, who we think are the most greatest,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
we
yeah.
think is the most greatest food. So even our musical choices are informed by the stuff that is presented to us. We have not gone out to find out the music we love.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that's why, for example, a lot of singers, maybe it happens also with music instrumentalists, but in South Africa, a lot of singers sound like a specific group that is famous because that's the only thing they listen to.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And
That's true.
nabo bayenza kanjalo because they make themselves available. So the thing about capitalism is they know by being in people's faces, eventually umuntu will crack and accept it.
Yeah. That's
Then it becomes a normal thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But Mr. Mnana, I have a question actually regarding that. So, as much as I connect with my music, a lot of the music that I listen to, I connect with everything spiritually because I feel like there's always a spiritual component to everything. But my thing is, I'm also understanding and sympathetic to people who are there for the money because mele sonke sebenze at some point, So if they need to make their money like that, then how can we push them away? City no is not the right thing or they're not doing it the right way.
There's so many arguments for and against. I mean, I've got the answer to that. Mara mina ngibona ukuthi abantu mabenza into abayikhalela nathi masenze lethu.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Stay true. Nje.
If people want to make money, and the funny thing is we don't understand. The people are making money. There is someone that they are getting this money from. Naye unama demands wakhe.
Sure.
Naye lo banika leyo mali naye kuna someone no demand
Demand
about
from
it.
them, yeah.
So
Eish.
it's a big trap because it means the one that is at the foot of the chain is dictating to all of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's take a typical township story. Maybe you've got a female partner. Typically, maybe she's not working, so basically, opt to angahlala now because when are you getting something from Lausbanako? Now, which means you have to also suck up to your manager,
Aish.
now he has to suck up from. So people that make money, and I'll tell you, because there was many times that I took those jobs.
Yeah.
Those jobs are degrading, to say the least.
Kanjan. Degrading how?
The jobs where you really, really think you're making money. You think people that are saying, "Hi guys, my name is whatever," you think they like to do that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
People are forced, man, to dress down
Aish, and even smile.
in leggings and in funny uvukile ekuseni ukuthi yo ngine interview SABC or something. There is no, and that music must be as we expect it. So how are you going to be creative if you have to regurgitate the same product?
Yeah, you can't. You have to always keep them
So
happy.
that's what I'm saying. Once you do money, you make money, you must know you are a slave to whoever that's going to give you that money.
Yeah, yeah.
So where's the freedom there?
Yeah, because abanye bagcina seba appreciated the fact that they're famous, and that's the thing they hold on to much and keeps them going.
That's true, but we must ask, who is the one that gave them this fame? Because that's the one that's in power.
Yeah.
Not the one that's famous,
Yeah, true.
but the one that gave them the fame.
Because they're always gonna try
Because
to
they
please them.
have to maintain it.
Sure. So do you think, as time goes by and our generation because now when you look at life in general, isn't as neat like as sana value? So do you think even music like 50 years or 100 years from now uzobe so less so value at all or uzobe value less?
Depending on there is something called the aesthetic. The aesthetic is how you is the way of approaching whatever that you approach. So for example, if you abantu abasithengisela maybe let's say rap,
Okay, yeah.
hip hop,
Sure.
they give us an aesthetic of how you have to judge it. Angisho. So we will say it's good because we learn how to think about it as good from ngale perspective. Yeah.
Let's pay or
So you will say it is good because bakubonisa indlela. So I'm saying it depends what kind of aesthetic that youth is going to be that time. Those people that time. Will they be thinking with you'll find good that time Amapiano will be a great heritage for them.
oh yeah, nah.
In the same way, I mean think about it. Jazz that time was played in whorehouses. It had a different meaning as well.
Sure.
Nowadays jazz is spiritual. So some people nabo labantu laba bamanje bazabe babokhokho balabantwana ngo-2019. So it's deep, it's deeper. In the same, and there's certain things that, like the same way I was reading a lot of books that were written by colonialists in the 19th century.
So, sure.
And the kind of phrases that they would use, they would like talk about kefirs, not as like it's like a standard thing. It's like so I'm trying to get to the things that we think are normal, man.
Sure.
Will be judged in time.
Yeah, that's true.
The same way like Dala, I want to mention sexual harassment. Dala to appreciate and just tap a person. It was an appreciable thing. So aesthetics change also with time, you know.
Man.
You understand? So we have to be very careful to impose the things that we think. So that's why we have to be very, 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 very. And people are religious because they think that they only have one God and omunyelo u inferior. Iyenza ukuthi singarespectani le nto. Yabona?
Sure.
And iyenza ukuthi abantu babe nereason yokuthi bahambe bayobulala abanye because bona maybe bathunyelwe uNkulunkulu. I mean, who gives you the right to go into Jericho and take people's places because you think you are the chosen nation? It's a problem. You understand? So, but that was the zeitgeist of the time.
Sure.
Yeah, but PDC, so you can't, it's harder sometimes to judge other people's principles of another time based on the other time.
Because you are not there. You
Yeah.
don't understand the situation.
Dala, in the States, there used to be, in South Africa, there used to be big bands. That was a normal thing in the 30s. Yeah. And then there were small bands. Then there was. I know. Because everything, we don't make time to know our history. In the same way that we don't even know our people, like ezindlini. Uyabamangalela bathi no lo makabhekane no auntie uthi mamncane mara yena umshana galo oshadane nomalume. Like it's a science. You understand?
Sure,
but we don't appreciate that stuff, man.
Sure.
So
sonke singamakhazini manje. Hayi cousin.
yeah, it's nice. But that's heritage. But people are willing to go and check, lives, histories of other people. That's why it's not in terms of the music that we're sold onto now. It's because whatever that esithola esifunda, akusinto esisihambe yoifuna. It's something that someone put at our disposal, and we must be suspicious. Ukuthi why enabona ukuthi ufuna ukusibekela le yakhe uyofunda ianthology yakhe. If you look at the stuff that you get, say, from Netflix, you find 99% of that stuff doesn't help you. That you don't. It might be incredible,
but you don't learn.
But it doesn't make you know yourself any better. Abantu babangam, that's why when they trace their classical music, they can trace it, say, to 700 or 500 AD.
Yeah,
we can't even trace it to the 80s.
Yeah, even within our families, like you said earlier, because they can actually speak about my great grandparent this, my great grandparent that, and then we can't even say who my great grandparent was.
Yeah. We are not interested.
Honestly, yeah.
So that if we can learn our music with a specific interest of understanding the people that played it, we can learn something about how they lived. Mina ngicabangela kanjalo ukuthi ngithanda ukufunda music so that I can be able to tap into that space, because I feel that maybe they had so much more that we don't have now.
Yeah, which is actually true. But I feel like also one other thing that actually blocks our path to knowledge is actually the fact that a lot of things are actually hidden from us. I mean, current generations don't have access to like a lot of information from the past regarding black people specifically.
Oh, well, that might be true, but I think, why don't you think about it as deliberately camouflaged by the things ebasinikeza zona?
Yeah.
If lezinto lezi esiphiwa zona azibi khona, you will find the other stuff that you think is hidden.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, let me give you a practical example. When load shedding hits, kukhona ukubhekana kahle endlini. You thinking about each other, you take care of each other.
Yeah.
So all this nonsense has to go. We have to learn to refuse and reject these things. It's harder. But if we can't reject them, then we must learn to look beyond, because your information is gone. But it's not found because nabantu mabazifuna babona ifela e1 then bayeke.
Yeah.
It's the same as, say, for example, finding like a true partner or a true friend. We no longer value lezo zinto. Sekukuthi vele sihlangana ngoba vele fanele siyophuza.
Yeah.
Nalo umthandela ukuthi maybe there's somehow that she's looking. We are no longer asikhona ukuya beyond, because it's what we have to do thina manje change. It's not the fact that we have to know about lezinto esizifuna, but we have to start creating interest for those things. We must create a kind of community that is willing to want to know themselves. Even namhla sebafail ukuzazi, but that drive must be there. You know, someone was saying, Amajuda, every year, they always commission someone to write a movie about the Holocaust. And Holocaust didn't take much long.
Yeah.
But it gives them that motivation to remember what we were once
Yeah,
persecuted.
we came from this, yes.
So Tina, because Zamugu move up beyond the apartheid, as it's having a lento, black people that time were a unit because they had something that pushed them.
Yeah.
Manje goals are separate because we don't see ourselves as the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the triumph of the commercialist ngesikhathi sokukhululeka kwabantu. Sikhululeke without a direction. We didn't know what we want to be free towards.
Yeah.
So it was easy to just trap us into something else.
No, that's the point. We were free for the taking.
Yeah.
Yo.
It's like, if you can check the history of the slavery of the Americans, if you can check what happens the time when they were set free, there was a lot of chaos. Because ukulula abantu abangana ability yokuziphilisa. How could we have the freedom when we don't know how to live by ourselves? So the freedom should really be an empowerment. Yokuziphilisa. So abantu bakudala, because they didn't need izinto zamangama. They had their own karate classes, their own debate teams.
Sure.
There was stuff, there was choirs, there were bands, bruh. There were even concerts here. You didn't have to go to a lane.
Sure.
So, as much as it's not desirable, ingathi kudingeka something ezofika ithi B, that's going to unite us.
But what, like yini leyo esingayenza ukuthi sifeel?
It's the music, bruh, the art.
But that's the thing, ukuthi nathi masesi grand musical, so uzofuna ukuyodlala kubo Joy of Jazz, awusafuni ubuya like us.
No, because most of the time, even no music, awufundwa nakhona guys, first.
True.
Yeah.
And ufundo because ufundo with the aim of playing elsewhere.
Yeah.
So we have not, that's why I'm saying, I like what we're trying to do here, is to be able to learn here and to perform for each other, to start a culture that will build a tradition of composing for each other, playing for each other, and just depending on ourselves. You don't need to tell ukuthi ubone umuntu Facebook to know what he's an amazing. You don't have to go to umbone encwadini. So we have to start those smaller institutions where we can. It's like how yabona abazalwane benza, they benza ama-cell meetings, just to try and have the culture that focuses, reminds you back onto the principles that you believe in, because it's so easy to forget. It's so easy to forget, and the music or other forms of arts have to be there to take us back to whoever that we were before, so that we can be like our future is in our past. That's all.
Yeah, I believe that very strongly actually, because even musically, I listen mostly to like a lot of old music, Yeah.
Not even, I say, okay, let's take Anderson Parks. These guys are starting to go back in time to take those works of Babyface stylistically.
Oh sure.
If you can look at like Uvuyo.
Uvuyo
Manyike, no. The guy that Vuyo is a bass player.
I don't know.
So he does a lot of work in those Java because we are producer Lapad.
Okay.
And if you can listen to instrumental Kakulo Acha, you can see it's like the 90s R&B. But without Java. So he makes it's special. That's why when estates they keep on reviving their old culture. Tina sifuna ukwenza newness engekho. So our wealth is in the past, man.
And I've noticed, because when you question I've noticed you always play the few of our interview, and you've played Nase Hard Rock Cafe or Tati Scoop.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe it was a boring gig. I don't know. I just did because I realized these guys are not even listening.
Yeah, but I actually think they requested it at this Google, didn't they?
Well, they started requesting it.
Yeah.
But like I see where you're trying to get to. Yes, we have to keep on celebrating our past songs.
Yeah.
One Lalana, there was one time we interview played
That thing of
Tiki Tiki Yo, yeah. So now I also have this thing of fusing Equator and jazz. Because I love both genres. Like I love Equator so much and I love jazz so much. So like what's your take on that? Because now I've seen Uti.
To be a jazz musician is not to be a person who was ukulele style. To jazz is like a working word. It's the ability to fuse stuff. And if you look at our musicians wethu, kakhulu South Africa, bamamela into eziningi, bamamela isonto, bamamela amakhwaya, bazwa nejazz. So vele, it's something that has been done vele, except us. They've always been fusing stuff vele. Bona. If they don't you can hear in a church.
Exactly. No. Oscar Peters in the song "Hymn to Freedom."
Like same thing.
Yeah, who's the church now, man? Who's the
Same
church?
thing.
Yo.
Sure.
So
It's the thing. Just be me. I think the answer for that. That's all. Do what you want. That's your wealth. If you couldn't figure out how to yes. That's all. I think that's the thing. Manje, people know what they're expected to do, but they don't know what they want to do.
So, Mr. Mnana, we actually know that you mentioned once that you liked gospel music a lot because to you it still captured that soul music that you love so much from the past. So I wanted to ask if that was influenced by maybe you being part of a church group at any point or being Christian yourself.
Man, South Africa is Jesus all over. There's nothing you can take from it. There is no other country that is more Christian like South Africa. So there's no even if I wouldn't have been religious, there's no way I could have avoided that influence.
True.
And obviously as a musician it's worse because most of the gigs when you start is church.
It's church, definitely.
Which is an amazing thing because once we realize that church is everybody's first school, then maybe we should empower the church.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so too. I'm not even Christian, but I usually go with Sabelo to church, and I love the music.
I think we understand what's happening with black people and their religion in terms of maybe what we're saying is beyond Christianity. Maybe we're using it to access a higher force.
Yeah.
That's why when our mothers are singing there, they know, man, because they know they've been through a lot of nonsense.
True.
So it kind of has, it's giving them, a sense of release, a sense of belonging somewhere.
Yeah.
And so we need it like that. Music is like that too. It's like religion. It gives you a place of refuge. It gives you safety.
Sure. It's your escape, I think.
Yeah. It's like it's the same way that you want you want to have somebody that loves you.
Sure.
It gives you a reason for breathing. They said that. So there is nothing that we can do without believing in anything.
Sure.
For me, I'd rather have a Christian than someone that doesn't believe in anything because he doesn't have faith.
Sure.
When we do music, we're dealing with something that is unseen.
Sure.
So we finally sithemba to believe in something because yona lesiyenza asiyiboni already.
Yeah.
Asiyiboni.
But what if the person who doesn't? Okay, because you said you prefer someone who believes in God than who doesn't believe in anything.
No, I'm
in
saying
general.
I want someone that believes.
Yeah, who believes in anything basically, as long as they just have that.
Someone
belief
that has the capacity to
to
believe.
believe. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's the question did I have?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to finish in time. Maybe
Oh, yeah.
we can put in, let's say, 2 last questions then,
Okay.
because you're probably not even going to broadcast, or you're gonna have to get like weeks to start doing this.
Yeah. So, the growing generation, how can we learn from you guys? Because only a few people like you, like the living legends, a few who dedicate themselves, maybe ukuthi bafundise the coming generation. How can we deal with that? Because
You know, it's so funny because when people are chasing the bag, they go where the bag is.
they don't care about.
So if we think the elders that are here are the bag, then you can go to the bag. It's not like it's because it's not there. It's because they're not interested in finding it.
Yeah.
That's all. It's not like people are not stupid, man. If mutu funa something,
Then know
where
how
are
to
you
find
funa?
it,
Kabang,
yeah.
you can have kuna manga. There's people from Europe that come here to study this music.
Sure.
And they find these things that we say are
Exactly.
Here. Yeah.
It means there's not enough desire. There's no appetite.
Yeah.
So
that's- I think
it has
it's
we
coming
it
to
has
the-
not yet been in hip enough to do these things.
Yeah.
Umuntu makangathi ahlangane no Beyonce washaya iselfie.
Pelini,
Umthanda ukudlula umuntu owazi uMariam Makeba.
Yeah.
That's how much we hate each other.
Yeah. And sadly, eventually, ama future generations, they have to learn about their own culture from outsiders.
Sure.
That's even namanje when you have to learn your stuff. You have to learn it from knowing about abanye abantu ngoba nalaba basendlini
Yeah.
are not even curious.
Yeah. they
Manje
are.
the way it's so tragic, abantu makushoniwe bayabuzana ukuthi hey kwenzwani,
Yeah, senza kanjani,
because akusashare.
True.
So the only thing, like I'm saying, we have to start showing them the hunger and the benefits. That's all that we do as teachers. It's not to teach them, no, it's just to show them how much this thing means to you.
Yeah.
Maybe it might mean something.
It means
to
something
them.
to them, yeah. That's amazing.
That's all. We have to inculcate those cultures. Yabona noma ukhula bebakushayela izandla bakuculela ingoma la. That was sharing a legacy.
Yeah.
Manje abantwana bethu abasadlala ama-eye.
Makaqala ukuhamba uyamshuta.
Yeah, I understand.
Hey.
Hey, akusana leyo nto. So that's the thing ukuthi lezi zinto they separate us from each other.
Yeah.
Ugcina umuntu umbona ngama-status kuphela.
Yeah, true.
We no longer we can't even hear each other's voices because we can't even call each other.
Yeah. Kudlula ama years nje. and
Yeah,
nothing.
bafuna udepende kule yabo so that bazokwazi ukudictatela umthetho ukuthi uyithola kanjani on what terms are they going to give you this thing that is so much important to you nowadays.
Yeah.
Awusakhona ukuchaja nefone, you understand?
Sure. Do
So-
you want to ask the last question?
Yeah.
So I actually wanted to ask you, Mr. Mnana. I noticed that a lot of the times when you're asked about how it felt to perform with the guys that maybe you used to look up to and people who are well known, you always say that it's a humbling experience. But being that you are now someone who gets to pass the torch down to the next generations, how would you say it makes you feel? Would you say that it's a feeling of getting where you've always wanted to be, or is it a feeling of I can still learn more and there's still a lot more to do?
Man, we came here to die. We're always continuously. No one arrives there.
Yeah.
I think as a performer, you can, like maybe you can get to say 1 or 2 good gigs in a year. The rest is a flop because we are always in the middle. No one gets it, man. Sometimes it becomes nice, but sometimes it's just because you know what works. But it's not many times that we can. Ucabanga phela izangoma mazenza lapha. they actually have a blast for themselves over and over again. If we can play music at that level all the time, imagine how much we will be healing ourselves even before we heal other people.
Sure.
Maybe that's the point. It's because we don't play this music for us. That's why we have to go and say, check what am I going to wear?
Sure.
We've gone long away. Sesidila neplastic yesinkwa manje sikhohlwe nokuthi kunama slices ngaphakathi. So for me, siphila kulo mhlaba we-surface, and you've got a point. I don't think I can arrive because I know what can be better. And for me, it is the dream of trying to do better that should be the driver than the actual fulfillment of the music. Once you're fulfilled, then there's no point of living.
Yeah, it's a dead end. It's like I might as well die now.
You understand? No, in fact, I'm dead already.
Yeah, true. It's not even a question.
That's why believing is important, because we're always chasing
something bigger.
The things that we can't see now.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so beautiful to have relationships, because when the things you agree in is the things that you can't see now, but you hope to give each other those things.
Yeah.
Those are the things that we must place value to. Not the friends that you see on Facebook. You don't even know them.
Sure.
But so that's why, even for example, I don't really like the interview stuff, but I realize I have to do it because maybe these are the things we need to start sharing, the other stuff too.
Yeah.
If we go to lezinye izinto zishare 5%, thina echuthi ukuthi siyozilanda lezi ezibhorayo.
Yeah.
See, and proliferate the market with them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mhlawumbe, if they don't equate lezi ezibhedayo, maybe this was exceed.
True.
So it's like I was saying to someone, I wouldn't go to already on my bad habits. Why ungayenzi ukuthi the level of the good things onazo zilingane nale bad habits onazo?
Yeah. Then it's balance it out.
Sure.
Hopefully they will. Mara makungabi le one is strong and the lenye upset.
Okay.
Akuna mswiki makunjalo. Uphuki. So we have to try and balance it. We must see if we can fight the good fight. That's, for me, that's the hope. Unfortunately, the people that want us to depend on them are glamorizing the things that are not good for us.
Yeah, true. Yeah, the things that they're glamorizing are things that won't get us to where they are.
No, are the things that they want us to get from them only.
Yeah.
So they are enslaving us by making us love the things that we can't give to ourselves.
Yeah.
Like ukhona ukuthi awusathandi ukujabulela idombolo than ukuthi ujabulele pizza.
True.
Because you think that because you can't do it, it has much more value.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it becomes so sad. Members, they've got like awards and stuff. But we don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
But we don't even understand it. It's
Yeah,
like
that's
walking
true.
on gold that we have not realized.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we have to wait for someone to let's go, man. We'll talk.
Ngathi na next time singakhuluma
We must make it maybe
Yeah,
we must.
yeah,
I think what you should do, get a round table so we can have call the other young people, because I think maybe that's the thing. Maybe you must just build a community with this thing.
Yeah.
So don't want to seek relevance with this thing that you are doing. Think about it more as a cultural effort. It's a cultural work where there is kind of like a renaissance, a reawakening to ourselves. That's all.
Yabo. Oh, bekune students akho besithe besinama question. Uthe ngibuze ukuthi how does it feel to teach our students then and actually see them progress or succeed in what they are studying? How does it make you feel?
I don't know. I mean, with the student, there's so many. And students can really drag so much from you.
How?
Because you have to forget about, I'm sure you're trying to communicate with them, but you must continuously try and see if you can speak something that he can understand. So it actually makes you better because you develop different ways of communicating now, ways that you would not have used if you were communicating with someone else.
Sure.
So, yeah, to see them grow is amazing because you're helping them to become what they were supposed to be anyway.
Sure.
And, unfortunately, I'm rate our fun and my expectations are lingana. So it's very frustrating. But it's beautiful to see someone do something that you could see. I think the sad part similarly is that sometimes most students, you can see how their potential can go. But because of these other things, sometimes sometimes there are situations. So in that way, it's you don't know what to feel because it's like that you don't even have power to change them.
Yeah. Some crocodiles there.
Because umthola phakathi kwawo qala makaphuma la egate uhlasela yenye ithengisa umthoba phela manje usekhohle kudala ama-rest.
Hayi Mr. Mnana.
Yeah.
Ngicela ushuti la Mr. Mnana. Hayi ngienjoy kakhulu wazi ukulona. Ukukhuluma nawe like ngathi singa
Now that's why I need to mean because you want to do a sustainable thing. I see pending ngempela so history pen. Yeah? It's like how we're looking for a history. We can only hear echoes and smells.
Sure.
But the real thing is gone.
No, but definitely so many squares like
I know. I think instead of wanting to be able to post a regular build something as sustainable. For example, every 4 weeks or every like build a movement.
Yeah, I'll definitely let you know on time if
like you can even do it with all the other institutions. Every first week we are
approach
every second week we are with something.
That's actually good.
So then